Hello. Welcome to the new episode of our revisit to 90210. You have our hosts, me, Logan, my mom, Georgina. I don't know what she prefers. You can tell me.
Gina. Gina's fine.
Uh, and this is the episode where we are going to meet Dylan for the first time, who was supposed to be just a character for a couple episodes. Supposed to be Brenda's first boyfriend that she would, date, and then she learn a lesson, and then he'd be out the door in a couple episodes. But the crew and the cast liked him so much that he, as my mom would say, finagled his way into a permanent position on the show. So, Mom, do you have anything to add to this episode? Do you remember this episode at all? Um,
The green room.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because I probably saw the green room maybe 3 times, but I don't
Mm.
remember it right now. What it was exactly about, but yeah, I do remember that one.
This
But
is
that's
your
an
pilot.
interesting fact. That's an interesting fact that you said that Dylan was supposed to only be there like 1 or 2 episodes because he's like very vital to the show.
Well, they made it that way. Yeah, yeah, they made it that way. You remember these are fictional characters in a fictional world, so they can make whoever important that they want to. Like Donna, that character, as we both know, was supposed to just be like a side satellite character, and then of course, she gets more of a prominent role because of her father's influence behind the scenes. So, they're writers. They like you, they'll write you off the show. I mean, well, if they don't like you, they'll write you off the show. They like you, they'll write you more into the show. So that's kind of what happened back then in Hollywood. And yeah, we saw the reverse with Brenda. You know, as she as they were trying to get her off the show, they started writing crazy storylines for her, and we'll get more into that as it goes. But yeah, this show is also a time capsule for how powerful Hollywood people were back then, compared to now. Um, I would say now all the power is in the donors and the companies, but back then, like the writers, the producers, they had like direct control over these shows. And 90210 is a perfect example of that. But anything else to add before we get into it?
Nope, I'm ready.
Alrighty. We're beginning the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Surfing USA.
I know, isn't that beautiful?
I know that's a nice shot. That's not CGI either. That was a real person surfing.
But it looks that little blue background that looked like he was in.
The studio.
Yep,
Yeah,
something really fake.
yeah, yeah. They were just dropping water on his face.
Yep, they're like make it look real.
Yeah, this is definitely a dream for sure.
Yeah,
He
especially
catches a
somebody
wave.
from Minnesota.
Would you say?
Especially somebody from Minnesota.
I know he's catching a wave, and then a hot babe is just waiting on the beach after he catches a huge wave. Yeah, It's a fantasy.
Wake up. They had a nice house in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think Mr. Walsh is a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
They weren't really working class, even though I assume that was supposed to be what the original concept was for the show.
The introduction is kind of sweet on this. It's before it get real funky. Look at Brandon like he's the dad sitting there reading the newspaper before school. I like Carol's hair right here. It's pretty. It's like 80s vibe. Like 80s.
You mention Carol's hair every time she appears on screen.
Except for the later years when she started wearing the straight. I like the curly on her, the pretty curly. Yeah, look at that 90s dress, the flowers with all the flowers. Yeah, Brenda's hair, they hadn't figured that out yet because her bangs are like choppy. We could have totally took that the wrong way.
It's hilarious.
She said your brother is dope.
Thing.
Really hard on Brandon.
Relentless.
Thank you.
I remember woodshop.
Oh, you took wood shop?
It was mandatory in middle school, yeah.
Oh wow, I wish it was mandatory
What's
for
our
us.
plan?
Said my favorite field trips.
Title of the episode.
Man, I dreamed about this place. Who doesn't? Welcome to paradise, man. Welcome to your dream come true.
Way to sell it. So have you ever had the desire to surf?
Who hasn't? You
Um,
never had like a surfing daydream? You never had a surfing daydream or a boogie board daydream or anything like that? They put that into the American consciousness. I mean, remember, I loved the Silver Surfer as a kid.
yeah, I don't know. I think I'll be more. What's the little ride on thing? The
Huh?
jet skis. So the green room is the perfect way.
Wipeout! Party! Wow! Cool! All right! I love this! Party!
Out of town.
I can tell.
Oh, Brandon moves fast, doesn't he?
Well, we're here every morning at 6. Sunrise surf. And it's all
You want me to find out how much a $150 was back in 1990?
you have to control.
$371.
dinner with a mother.
So, did we get Daddy's permission?
Nope. We got mine.
Isn't that her decision?
Oh, well, you heard him.
I said the surfer guy. Check out the surfer guy clothes.
Brandon can feel the trouble coming.
Well, don't just stand there. Come on. Where do you suppose?
I wish I had a friend like
This
Dylan when I was
is
in high
room
school.
211.
Dylan, come on.
Well, so you can
5 cheeseburgers,
end up
please,
in
medium
jail.
well. Is that all right with you guys?
Peer pressure.
Yeah, that wouldn't work on me either. I mean, I was kind of mean though, Brandon.
I know, because it's all in fun.
The surfing was more fun. I mean, they should have just stuck to that.
Lousy night.
Yeah, but
No one enjoys
basically they just have a burger and fries at Dylan's crib.
Wake up, Brandon. Everybody knows about Dylan McKay.
Knows what?
That he's like major trouble. I heard he got this girl in Paris pregnant.
I'm not surprised. And you know what? I don't care.
Kelly, how does she look?
Like a reject from a Megadeth video.
Yeah, well, she paid a fortune for that outfit. Well, come on.
I wonder who that is. I kind of like that.
They get their
The
ass
song's
kicked.
called Surf City by
This
Jan
belongs
Berry.
to us. The
Oh,
beach
okay, I like that.
And Betty.
I do.
It hurts. Brandon.
But this isn't.
I don't know why you don't like
Come on,
Brandon. He's
surf's
got a good
up.
head on his shoulders.
Why you just wait until
No, okay, like we were
you see
standing
more
our shit in
Brandon.
his face.
You just wait until you see more Brandon.
Okay.
Got a friend in Beverly Hills now.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Steve is like, oh,
Yeah, it's all right. How you doing? Fine, fine.
he
I'm
cannot
doing
escape these dorks.
You know, my mom
I
knows
mean,
your dad.
this is gonna
She
be
said
one
to
of
say
his
hello.
best
Oh,
friends
really?
for life.
I'll tell him that. Why not do that?
So they just went just to look good and attract some boys.
Basically, because they didn't stay, what,
Hey, Brent.
30 minutes?
10 minutes. Yeah.
I just left her.
Dang.
Hi, kid.
Ooh,
Come on,
she
someone else
ghosted
goes.
her every time.
I don't believe
Same Betty. Her and Brandon taking his little time. Oh,
You're heroes.
yay.
I think she meant you must have been worried.
At least they would be bored.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why we watched the show. It's a lot of money down the drain on that one. I appreciate the love of cargo pants, though.
I've
Mhm.
got an editorial to write. One you were supposed to write the other day when I dragged you out here.
At least she just left
Bad
Brenda
enough
like that.
already.
she should.
That was crazy
You're
cold.
being too hard on her, Brent.
That's cold-blooded.
I mean, how do you learn to be?
I wonder what her excuse is going to be next episode.
I mean, it's like I'm seeing another family, some more family members or more friends. That was nice. The mom eavesdropping.
Yeah, sounds familiar. No, they have a brother sister relationship that no brother or sister actually have.
I don't know. I was thinking about that.
They're like emotionally supportive and actually like hanging out with each other, and it's hilarious.
But when they get a little older, that they still remain close. But I feel sorry for Dylan.
That sucks. It sucks. Two absentee parents. It's one thing. A lot of us have one, but two is crazy.
And all he has is his money right now.
Yeah, which it makes you not feel as bad, you know.
Hmm. But for Dylan, let's say if money has never been an issue for you, then you couldn't handle.
Mm.
So he doesn't probably even feel lucky.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, without love, yeah, you're not gonna feel great. Now I feel bad for Steve. That's who I feel bad for.
Oh, my little boyfriend. You feel bad for my boyfriend.
I mean, imagine having to hang out with these two.
Mm, I mean, I don't
Just
know. They
he
might not
wasted a
be
whole
that.
weekend. And his mom is absentee too so far. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Oh yeah, because she's an actress and she
Hmm.
had a show, The Hartley House.
Yeah,
So
and they never mention the father, but like Steve's father. I mean, he's not in the picture.
you know what? You don't see his father. I don't remember seeing his dad until when they were adults. And the
Yeah.
show was about to end. I think it was like season 10.
So all the parents are rich, but they're deadbeats. Pretty much is what you know. So funny. Now people are so afraid of their personal information getting leaked, but you guys were just in the phone book.
Yep, and in the back of your
Your book.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
address, phone number.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny how the cultures change, you know.
Kelly to me has never been nice. Ever.
Not nice, but oh no. Let me put it like this. She's not nice to women, but to the men, she is nice to. Look,
Really? I don't recall one situation.
that's my perception is that when she likes a guy, she's nice to him, and that's pretty much it. Who she's nice to.
But
Wow.
oh, Kelly is annoying.
That was just crazy, just to be like, zzz, it's just like. But I guess she figured like, oh, her brother's here. Her brother will, she'll catch a ride with her brother. That's the only way to excuse that behavior. A backstory, Mom. What if Kelly really had to go number 2, real bad, and she was like, "We cannot, we can't."
You can't leave your friends. You just got to do it in the ocean or something. You can't just leave your friends like, oh, I don't know how you're going to get home. I got to use the bathroom tonight. That's something she should have told Brenda, like, okay, hurry up and get Brandon. Or I'm going to find the restroom and then meet me at the car. Oh, yeah. So this episode.
Yeah, what'd you think of the episode? While we're talking about burns from cell phones, what did you think of the episode?
I think it was really good because it actually showed that Brandon does have some depth to him. It's a contrast between the shallowness of the privileged rich kids of Beverly Hills versus the kids who have morals.
Mhm.
So it's like now we got to figure out how they gonna come together because right now they're looking like oil and water, all of them.
Mhm.
But it's pretty good. It was a good episode.
Okay, what'd you think about the fashion choices, the music?
I loved it. I love the fashion because it was kind of like early 90s. So it was kind of like the 80s bled over into the 90s of the early 90s a little bit. When you watch the 80s video with the Cyndi Lauper and all of, the polka dots with stripes and the colorful stuff and the permed hair still. And yeah, I love the fashion. I love fashion and the soundtrack. Yeah, it was a good episode.
Would you have paid $371 for one clothing item in 1990? Or did you? I should ask.
I've never paid 300 and anything for any one single piece of clothing. That would have to be an outfit.
I thought that was high. When I saw that, when I looked up how much that was back then, or how much it would be today, like I'm like, that's pretty high for one item. But I mean, hey, they're in Beverly Hills. Maybe that is normal for them to buy clothes like that.
Yeah, that's the top echelon at New York back then. I'm sure they had stores that had cheaper outfits. Like, when the 90s, I say like 91, we had a store called Marigold now. And you can get the top of the line outfit off the mannequin and it would be like $100. And that was expensive.
That is, yeah.
Or what's that, like 200?
$100 is like 300 today. So yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
And for men, they had a label. It was an urban label. It was called Damage. To get, it was denim. It came in brown, blue, black, and to get the whole outfit. Like it came with a jacket and some denim pants, like the big oversized. Everybody kind of wore it oversized a little bit. That whole outfit was $250 for men.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. It's quite a bit.
Mhm. We had Spiegel. We had a Spiegel. Spiegel had a catalog, and they had what do you call it? Like a discount warehouse. So you could go to the Spiegel discount place and get nice, decent fashion for discount prices. Oh, in the urban community, we had Cross Colors.
Mhm.
Or we had FUBU, Cross Colors.
When did the Tommy Hilfiger thing get adapted in the
I
community?
think like 96
Oh,
to me.
way later. Way
Well,
later. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, yeah, he was really popular around 96, 97.
What about Gap? I know Gap had its phase where everybody was rocking Gap for a minute. When did that pop off? When you remember?
mm, Gap might have been late 90s.
Late 90s. Okay.
Because remember when Gap started having all those commercials with people singing and synchronized dancing and twirling around? That's when Gap was like really huge.
Mm.
I would say late 90s, maybe.
And what about Nautica? When did Nautica kick off?
Oh, that was the 90s. That was probably 92, 93.
Okay, so that's getting closer to this time period. Okay, so Nautica. Yeah, if you didn't have no fashion sense, you could probably walk into a Nautica and pick something out and be all right and blend in.
In the winter, what I loved about the 90s patchwork, the 70s patchwork came back with the
Mhm.
like I had a denim patchwork outfit. You couldn't tell me nothing, and some suede mules.
Mhm.
They were like different color suede patches, all on the shirt and then all on the pants. I don't know. I just remember the clogged heels, with the thick heels from the 70s.
Mhm.
The mule shoes, they kind of like slip in with a thick clog heel. What do
Yeah.
you remember being a kid in the 90s? What do you remember about the clothes or whatever you can remember?
I remember tracksuits. I remember cargo pants, cargo shorts. I remember people wearing like puka shell necklaces. If you had your ears pierced, it was just one ear. Now everybody has both ears. Speaking for the guys,
Mm-hmm.
I remember a lot more bald people, and that being like more socially acceptable back then for some reason. Yeah, Tupac, Michael Jordan. There was Bruce Willis. Like people were more okay with it than they are. Like there was a lot more like bald icons that made people were shaving their heads voluntarily in the 90s. I remember that was a popular thing. You did not see locks unless they were Rastafarian.
Mm. I met some guys that had locks, and I remember asking them, "Are y'all Jamaican?" And they laughed
Yeah,
at me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it was starting to get popular because
yeah, yeah.
how I'm gonna know my rosters if everybody's gonna get locks.
Yeah. So the hair was definitely different in the 90s. That's the first thing you notice when you look at something from the 90s. You're like, oh, wow, the hairstyles have completely, changed. The fashion always comes back around. I remember bell bottoms making a comeback, tie dye, boot cut jeans.
Do
Let me
you remember
see
the
what
finger
else.
bands?
Mhm.
Did you remember my finger wave hairdo?
I remember finger waves and asymmetric styles for black women. Yeah, and y'all would do like y'all would play with color a little bit. Like there'd be a strip, but the colors y'all liked were like a light brunette or like a dirty blonde streak or something like that. Y'all didn't get too crazy with it. Y'all didn't go pink or blue or green like like we do now. But y'all were dipping your toes into color and asymmetric hairstyles and stuff like that. And yeah, the natural look was gone. Like nobody black had any natural do whatsoever for that whole decade, I would say, unless you were like like one of those black folks that like meditate or something like that back then. But you didn't see a lot of natural dudes for a long time. And let me see, gold was in. Nobody talked about platinum. Platinum was not on the table for most people, but everybody still loved gold, which is weird to think about because now it's all platinum. Everybody's like, "Ooh, we got to get a platinum." But every rapper, every artist, if they wore jewelry, it was always gold.
Yeah.
Grills were not a thing. Nobody had grills yet.
But they had gold teeth. They would have
Actual gold teeth. Yeah. Actual gold teeth, but no grills. So and shades. You guys wore a lot of Oakleys. Some people were still doing the Ray-Bans, but Oakley was rising up. Huh? Go ahead.
The Versace shades. We had Versace shades. Versace shades.
Oh yeah. That was big because of Bad Boy. Yeah, Bad Boy made those popular for a minute in New York. Yeah, but the rest of us who didn't have Versace, we were rocking Oakleys. And you see those Oakleys everywhere.
I had two pair. I had two pair of Versace shades. I was leaving them places. I hated it. I kept leaving them places. Can you imagine leaving 200? Back then they were like 250, 275. Losing 275 in somebody's couch.
No, that's the equivalent to $681. Could I imagine losing a pair of shades that cost $681? No, absolutely not.
Imagine leaving those on somebody's sofa.
Hats. Y'all were wearing bucket hats.
I hated the bucket hats. I hated the bucket hats.
What? They're they're not bad. You get a good one.
I
get a good one.
Yeah. We wore bandanas. You don't remember the bandanas? We wore a lot of bandanas.
I vaguely remember visors, like golf visors. That was a thing for a minute. Yeah, that was a thing for a minute. They got to bring those back. And bucket hats, yeah, it's tough to make a bucket hat work, but they're trying. They're still in, by the way. Like they're still in fashion right now.
It just reminds me of Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, the Gilligan's Island look. Yeah.
I never liked those.
Daisy Dukes made a comeback in the 90s.
Duke song. I want you to love that song.
Those made a comeback. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of guys are happy about that. And then bikinis, I remember specifically women wearing the hip hugging bikini or whatever you call it, high-waisted bikini. The high-waisted bathing suit, whatever you want to call it, but it was like the line was over the hip, and that look hasn't come back since then. We know that. But one question I wanted to ask you was about daily life, because you guys did not have cell phones. Most of you didn't carry cell phones in 1990. So I wanted to ask, did you guys use debit in 1990? Was that something that was widely used? Because I've talked to a lot of older people. They say that they didn't have debit cards until like the mid to late 90s.
We didn't even trust banks back then. Remember, I
Yeah,
made cash.
yeah, yeah,
Didn't trust the bank. I trust
yeah.
my mattress
Mhm.
and my closet.
Society literally did not use debit cards. They did not trust banks until like 25 years ago. Everybody I
Mhm.
talked to who lived back then were like, it took them a long time to get a debit card.
A long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we communicated by going to we had to go to payphones and pay. Like, if I wanted to contact you, I had to go to the payphone and page you, put in the
Mm.
number where I am, and wait for you to call me back.
Yeah.
Or the payphone, of course, was a quarter or 50 cents sometimes, but quarter. I think it was 50
Okay.
cents. Anyway, you go put the money in, you dial the number, and sometimes you put in a code behind your number, like 911. Or if your boyfriend or girlfriend cheating, you put 304, because when you look at it, it'll say HOE. Still went to pay our bills. We stood in line to pay our telephone bills, light bills. I did that until the 2000s. I stood in line forever.
The average income in 1990 was
Mm,
$21,000, according to the
mm,
Social Security Administration. That's the equivalent to $52,000 today.
mm,
Um, and of course, a lot of working class households were double income, which was about 35,000 a year.
mm.
The equivalent to 35,000 a year today. So yeah, I think was that enough? What if back in 1990 was $21,000 a year enough to live a normal life? Would you say?
Mm-hmm. You'd be rich with $21,000 back then, because your combos were like $5 at tops at fast
Mhm.
food. The apartment,
How much was rent?
our one bedroom apartment, and it had a gate near the airport, was $425 for a one bedroom.
Total,
Mhm.
everything.
And it was total electric bill might be 100 a month. You're
So
looking at
$500,
about 550.
$550 a month.
Gas was $1. You can get gas for $1 a gallon.
Mm, yeah. Okay.
If you spent $200 at the grocery store, you got enough meat for 6 months. Get my hair washed and done for $16 a week.
What?
At a salon.
$16 a week to get your hair done. Now
Not
that's
my
been the biggest price increase.
no.
So what do you think is going to be in store for the characters in the next episode?
Um, I can't remember what's the next episode, but it's gonna be
No, if you had
more
to guess, as
jump
somebody
from
who hasn't
color.
seen it yet.
Oh, I think we're gonna see uh somewhat of them coming together, because right now none of them really hardly really like each other yet.
Hmm.
So I think, in order for them to have progressed to where they were when the show ended in its final season, we got to see them come together. So I think the next episode, we'll see them do that. We're probably gonna see the Walshes, because they're in culture shock right now. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is crazy. But I think they're gonna start to get used to their new normal, and yeah, and I think we're gonna start to see more people join, pop in and some stars, some people that are popular today that we didn't even know of back in the
Yeah.
90s, which is, really cool to see that how long ago they got their career started. We're going to hear
I
more
mean,
great music.
we got
And we're going
Jaimin
to see
Hansu in the first episode. So,
and we're going to see Brenda's hair get better because right now for these first 2 episodes, I don't know what her hairstylist was thinking. Maybe fresh out of Minnesota.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, they're gonna have to work on her hair. We got to
Yeah.
do that. So, what do you
And
expect to see in the next episode?
as somebody that completely doesn't remember, because I haven't rewatched the show in maybe 7 years, I think you're going to start to see, like you said, a group form. But I feel like the relationship between Kelly and Brenda is still on shaky ground right now. The trust doesn't seem to be getting there as fast as you think it should.
Mm-hmm.
I also, when I was watching the episode, that's what I wanted to ask you. Why does Dylan want to be Brandon's friend? That's my lack of emotional intelligence, because I was looking at the way they became friends, and I'm like, why is Dylan like, this is the guy that I'd rather hang out with than this surfer crew? In your opinion?
Um. Well, remember at first when Brandon was like, "Well, let's go get lunch," and he was like, "Yeah, we'll do lunch." Like he was picking on Brandon for trying to extend, trying to get to know him and spend time with him. So he remember that he rejected Brandon, but he sees that Brandon has morals and is truly a good kid. So
Mm,
he probably figures he can learn something from being around somebody other than the pretentious, stuck up, rich,
mm,
narcissistic kids of Beverly Hills. You know?
gotcha.
Mm.
Because Brenda and Kelly, we get why there's an attract. It's like, oh, you're the cool girl,
Mhm.
who knows about fashion. So, that's why we're going to hook up. But Brandon and Dylan, it's like they don't have the same values. But, you know,
They,
the energy, the willingness to be friends is there.
I can't wait for you to get to know Brandon because
And
Brandon knows.
Steve is the coolest character, but he's also a red pill incel. Uh, he needs
Meathead.
love in his life. He needs love in his life for sure. That would be the cure to Steve, his issues, I think, or at least learning how to be by himself without being obsessed with Kelly. But so far he is like the funniest character. And that kind of, and then he seems, even though Dylan's dad probably has more money than his mom being on a TV show, Steve feels like a guy who's had money for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not constantly talking about his money. He's not obsessed with money. You can feel that he's just used to buying expensive stuff. And so he's the coolest character, but he's also the angriest, the loneliest. He has no friends. We haven't seen him with one friend in 2 episodes. 2 episodes, no friends, no girl.
Not yet.
So yeah, we're gonna see how they. Yeah, and you said meathead, but we haven't seen him play sports yet. I think he's on a football team or something eventually. We haven't seen that side of him yet.
Oh, not the lacrosse. Was he on lacrosse? No, he was in the what's the one where they get on the boats and they do the
Rowing,
rowing.
rowing. Yeah.
He's on the team. And I was, if I went to West Beverly, I probably would have dated Steve.
And that says a lot about your childhood right there.
Yeah. I would have let him cry on my shoulders. I would have been like, "Yeah, poor baby Kelly doesn't want you anymore. You gotta come
I
on to
mean,
the
he did.
chocolate
They did
factory."
make him like the more long term guy in the future. Like, I know that much. And Brandon is an accidental player. He tries and it just never works out for whatever reason.
Because he goes after the one girl that's really kind of non-committal.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always trying to go for the bad girl for some reason.
Yeah.
David, would you have dated David if you were his age back then?
No,
Never? He liked hip hop? He was a monogamous guy? No, because he was too dorky?
Oh, he cheated several times. Which
Okay.
one of the girls would you have dated if you were at West Beverly in 1991?
Realistically, I would have probably dated Andrea.
Okay.
That would have been somebody that I would have understood the most. Because she's, she has depth and thinks about stuff beyond the surface and, the shallowness of Beverly Hills. And that would have been more my lane,
Mm-hmm.
As far as they've only introduced 3 women, and one of them Donna barely speaks. We've only really seen Kelly and Brenda really in action. We won't be honest. So you're really just asking between Kelly and Brenda, which one? And both of them would annoy me, to be honest. I mean, they're cute. They're cute as kids, but I love that opening of that wave. The person running through that wave. I was like, wow, that was a crazy shot. Yeah, the green room. So that's one for the books. That some people consider this to be like the unofficial pilot because Dylan is introduced.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, to me, I'll show you when we get, I don't know if it's the 3rd or the 4th, but when the episode of them really coming together, that's what I really call it the pilot for me. When they all come together. Like, when it starts to get really spicy. Like right now, they just touch on a few issues. Like the issues to me from the green room was the way the guys treated the woman, the one girl that hung out with them. They didn't even know her name. Called her Betty. Didn't care what her name was. Didn't care if she drowned. So it made me wonder, what was Betty really hanging out with them doing? Like when the cameras weren't rolling. Like
they did, one of the issues is that she was an alcoholic, and so they cover that a little bit. Another issue is absentee parents. So that's also another issue that we get to observe. Peer pressure. Another theme. And then they are starting to touch on the mom being by herself a lot. And you can tell they're trying to keep it light, but they're laying the groundwork for some other problems later, which they probably don't even fully pursue in the show, but don't spoil it. Don't tell me because I don't remember. But, you notice throughout the episode, the mom is like, I'm by myself. I made dinner. Oh, we can't come to dinner. So, it's just going to be me? Yes. What are you going to, like, there's a lot of moments like that where the mom is specifically stating that she's at home all day by herself. And I feel like, as somebody that doesn't remember the show, that is going to come up again, because why would they take the time to put that in the episode so many times?
I mean, that comes up in every movie, every show where a woman is a housewife and her children are starting to grow up. Even before the empty nest, when they start to get a lot of their own, she has to start to find her own identity. Like that will be a good time for Carol to go back to work or join some classes. I think back then, it was step class in the 90s. So it wasn't
Yeah.
Zumba or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No.
yeah. But I don't know what that dynamic was between Betty and the group of guys and the way that they talked about her and treated her. I'm just wondering.
You do know. You do know. You know what that is. Yeah, she's like, you can tell that they all hooked up with her at some point in their
Um,
childhoods. Because you got to remember, these are kids, these are teenagers. So, like, you know, they all hooked up with her. She's a drunk, you know, like, there's a lot of reasons to not like her if you're a misogynist teenage boy. Yeah, like that's as a millennial, that's what I'm seeing when I watch these episodes. As far as negative stuff, is that I'm seeing housewives who are clearly unhappy. We're clearly, which is not even a thing anymore. A housewife who doesn't work, I mean, it's not even really a thing anymore. So that's also another time capsule. I'm seeing women who are kind of treated like um, accessories or you know, they're just accessories. They're just like, yeah, you can come, sure. You know, people are kind of annoyed by them.
I think Steve
You
is
know,
not in love with Kelly. I think Steve is obsessed with Kelly's looks because she's blonde, skinny,
mm,
pretty, and rich.
yeah,
And he fits the mold. He's blonde, he's rich,
yeah.
he's healthy, so she's just what, you know,
She's an object to him. Yeah,
yeah. And so he's like, we look good together.
rejected him. I mean, he's an a-hole from what we've seen. Like, he is not a nice guy, and even though he's funny, he's cool. He is not a nice person. He obviously had issues with her nose because she got a nose job after breaking up with him. Right? That's something that we got to look into too. She had a nose job after breaking up with him, which means he probably definitely made some, you know, some guys can be. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Some guys, some women will break down their partner's self esteem, I guess, to keep them in the fold. And so when he makes that comment, like, yeah, they took a foot off, you know, remember that? It's
Oh, yeah.
hilarious, but her face said it all. Her face was like, yeah, this is why we ain't never get back together, you know?
Much more of the gang.
I cannot wait to see you for the next episode, Mom.
I
Um,
enjoyed it. I enjoyed our review session.